Well, Christ living in my life and through me energizes me, number one, to live a life that's clean. Number two, to have a body that's yielded. Number three, to have a heart that's pure. Look at verse 23. The fourth element, a grace-energized young man must have a mind that discerns God's way. Notice what it says in verse 23. Avoid foolish and ignorant disputes, knowing they generate strife. You need to have a mind that's discerning of what God says is worth focusing on. Grace-energized young men cultivate the mind of Christ. They invite the wisdom that's from above. They think the Word. Now let me show you this. Look at James chapter 3. I'll just demonstrate this in one passage. We could go through many. In fact, we spent a long time looking at the whole Word-filled life, Colossians 3:16 and 17, and letting the Word fill us. But just one small example is in James 3:13 through 18. And this is what James says. He says, who is wise and understanding among you? Show by the good conduct his works are done in meekness of wisdom. So how do we show that we have the wisdom that is prompted by God? Well, negatively, he says, 14, if there's bitter envy and self-seeking in your heart, then you're lying against the truth. So bitter envy and this self-seeking negates God's leading us and showing his will. Verse 15, those who are characterized by the bitterness and selfish seeking, this wisdom isn't descending from above. It's earthly, sensual, demonic. So how do we know when we aren't operating with God's wisdom? He tells us, verse 16, where there's this constant envious spirit that I don't like what your privileges or your possessions or whatever you have, where envy and where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. Have you ever been involved in something that maybe you're discussing and all of a sudden it just seems to get so confusing and it just doesn't make sense? That is not from the Lord. The Lord is not the author of confusion. And so he said, what characterizes this wisdom from above, this wisdom that's from beneath, is that there's envy involved, self-seeking, confusion, and every evil thing. And then he says, this is what I want you to have. Verse 17. The wisdom that God sends, that is from above, is first pure. Remember? Pure. A heart that is pure. A life that's clean. There's this purity that God seeks. Is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, not wanting always to win and have their own way, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality, without hypocrisy. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. So what the scriptures tell us is that we should always remember we're living in this crooked and perverse generation, and we are supposed to have a life that has the wisdom from above, and we shine as lights because we know God. We know his way. We have a confident walk in life. As it says in the scriptures, in quietness and confidence shall be our strength, and in returning and rest is our salvation. And the Lord said, oh, that you would hearken unto me, then your peace would have been like a river, your righteousness like the waves of the sea. That's what God wants. So Christ living in my life and through me energizes me to live a life that's clean, a body that's yielded, to have a heart that's pure, and a mind that's discerning, that knows the wisdom from above.